heard a whisper just now, but then nothing.
Yeah, in the sector, in the rural sector, I didn't understand. He should repeat the message.
Not repair 84 mediums drivers.
Oh, bad, blind spot. I had to jump on the brakes there because he nearly crashed in front of me. Please, code 80.
Do you want me to join the server?
No, not yet. Say the obstacle is clear. We have about 8 laps left.
Okay, if we get a code 80, maybe we could beat or not. I don't know.
Okay.
Might be too early
It was
because we have to spot the mesh.
Oh, thank you.
now.
There you go.
It is on the
Okay.
position.
Yes, it would be nice. Nice to keep this one. Let's see who will be driving Seawolf if they swap the P6 behind.
Yeah, severely flat spotted both fronts because of trying to avoid the accident.
Is it so annoying or can you keep driving?
Again, but it's quite shaky right now. I don't find it annoying, it's just it comes with the problem of locking both tires.
Yeah. And in the third stint, they start to be annoying, for me at least. I try not to block them, but I always get some vibration on the tires in the third stint.
Good luck.
Yep. Because
Thank
the
you.
thread is gone already.
I come back in 2 minutes. Shiba are pitting now. And don't worry about Locatelli, because even if we were losing 3 seconds per lap, he only would be able to do 100 seconds, even being super slow, so don't worry. We even have time to change tires for the last stints, extra tires if you feel we need them, so just stay that way.
You're next, right?
Yeah.
In about 6 laps.
Okay, I'm going to wait a couple more to not get a reprimand from race team.
Street phrases or Thomas or look too familiar. Really could have a lot worse. But well,
Yeah. Not like it.
well, not get
Question.
yes.
Are we fighting with the trampoline?
Yes, we are very much fighting.
Okay.
They are boxing up this way. And swooping. As well.
Take care with him, he's a young and aggressive boy. We know it from Division 2.
Trampoline?
Yeah,
Okay.
he's very young and he goes for the gap, even if it doesn't exist.
Yeah.
they were so quick on Division 2, probably the quicker team in the start of the season, but it took them a lot of time to be promoted to Division 1 because of their probably lack of experience on endurance. They were getting crashes on traffic and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Even yeah.
Okay, it's fast.
That was a 3:33.48.
Sorry, Amir?
How many laps have I done in distance?
I don't know.
Okay, I mean, you can see the timing screen. The right timing.
But I joined it earlier to set the streaming and everything.
Okay, no problem. I just want to see if I did 11 or 10 laps.
Okay.
Even better. Yeah. Or even better, doing 12 laps. You can have an extra lap on everybody.
Okay. Nice.
7 laps. 7 laps. I've done 7 laps since last pit stop.
Alright, I think we're about the same then.
How many laps do we have to save fuel for how many laps to avoid the splash and dash?
I'm trying to at least make up 1 lap right now.
Okay.
And I'm doing so because I'm actually now doing 12. Can't make it 2 laps too far. But 1 lap save is good enough in my opinion.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, this time was 4, but now I managed to make it 3 for the last 2 laps. Trying to extend this as much as I could.
That lap was a 3:33.15.
Ah, no problem. Straight. No.
And if I copy down to the leaders in the pits, Locatelli pitted.
Yeah, and Locatelli's on pitch too.
Yep. Leaders on the same lap as us now.
I come back in a minute.
Okay.
I am back and ready.
All right. One more lap after this, and then I'll bring it in.
The fuel is going okay for the 12th lap?
Yep.
Wow.
We can do one more. Yeah, we can do one more.
You are a legend.
All right. One more lap after this.
Okay.
Oh, this car's actually going long. Thank you, Donnie. for the tip on the safety car mix. It helped a lot. And thank you as well, Sergio, for keeping track of the gaps on this. It
Okay.
feels as though we have enough of a leg room for this now.
Which was your consumption in the last lap?
6.54.
Wow, man.
Really stretching it.
Hybrid car. Oreca hybrid.
The next generation and keep the regulation.
And he's cutting every fucking time to the ultra rules. Not normal.
Yes.
They give us too many track points, cut points. I think it should be harder.
Yeah.
3 points per hour is crazy.
3 points per hour, yeah, that's actually quite a leeway that they gave us.
Thought you have been doing a great job constant keep behind.
VEC regulations are very hard in some fields, but in the track cuts is quite relaxed.
Yeah. Especially those who they have to have 2 straight clean races under supervision.
Yeah.
Thanks. No incidents.
And I hate invalid laps, so I try to keep the car on the limits, so the guy is more relaxed and taking advantage of it,
Yep.
are enjoying it. Is it okay, the fuel, Amir?
Yeah.
Okay.
No,
You
sorry,
are,
sorry,
you are scaring me.
Yeah, I just only went into clutch mode. Just to be safe.
How many fuel now remaining?
2 liters.
Ah, it's okay. You have enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you too.
Yeah, safety car map, and it's completely okay.
Yep. In safety car now. Okay, we're almost there.
Fuck, it was my corner.
Yes, that
Come back.
Touch me, yeah.
was,
Alright. Sorry for the scares, Sergio. We made it.
Okay, let's go. Thank you very much. Amazing.
Thank you. Alright. That will be yours.
I don't help you.
yes, he had no reason to try anything there. Never going to work for him.
It was my fault.
No, it was his fault, definitely.
This is not a place where you're overtaking the same class.
Yes.
He wasn't alongside me at full.
Feel easy about it. No problems.
Do you think should I save fuel in my stints? No, finally.
I think you can just go as usual.
Okay, thank you. Let's go.
I'll just. Alright. You have the license to drill.
No, I prefer to stay safe.
Alright. All yours.
Thank you. Yeah, right now, 5 pit stops remaining.
Okay.
5.0. Amazing, Amir. Thank you very much.
No problem. That extra lap did pay off.
And we are one lap down, so I don't expect the leaders to lap us again or to unlap ourselves. That should be the problem, could be the problem if we are unlap. But I don't think we unlap from them.
I think the safest right now is where we are right here.
That was a 3:33.07.
Locatelli is on fire.
He is not hanging back anymore. So you'll be right back in it.
Okay.
Why he was so much faster in end than my...
That was a 3:36.88.
Yeah, sure.
much faster. I think
Sure, yeah.
good damage.
Yes, he at least he recovered quickly. Not sure if he did he have contact with the wall there or.
I think
Big flat spots. Let's see.
I think he got something he's not catching right now. Wasn't. volume on your Discord photo.
Okay, yes, I try to. All my gains are already at 100,
Okay.
and mic is in mouth, but still quiet. really good pace you are catching, Korkeakoski.
No, puhutaan autopilottoimettelössä.
31.6. That was good.
Oh, yo, you're crazy.
You are faster than me, bro.
The tank is empty now.
Even then. I did 33.
I was there too. A while ago. But the pace is very tight all around, so we need every second.
Yep, agreed.
But your extra lap probably is going to be a key in the end of the race.
Yep, fingers crossed.
I think I wouldn't be able to do that extra lap. Box. Locatelli was doing his second stint on mediums and he was doing low 32s.
I have awoken to good news, I see.
Yeah, we are in the fight.
What happened to... Oh, it was Ulfheim's team.
Yeah, again,
E1
very
guys.
unlucky. Yeah.
They... Do you know what happened or...
Let's go.
Do you know what happened to them? Was it...
No, probably connection because they were on the pitch
Yeah.
for a long time. Or maybe an accident, I don't know.
Yeah. I seem to remember 2 years ago they had a connection issue. Or
Yeah.
Ulfheim's team anyway.
I think we are okay with the pits, Amir. Now 3.9, and I think in case of emergency, you could do a super slow last lap.
You're on your second pit stop, are you?
Yeah,
So when you're saying a mirror, are you saying a single stint for him or a double stint?
I think the guys we are fighting with are all everybody on triple stints right now. It doesn't give points, but right now we have the fastest lap of the race, don't you?
Oh wow, really? Did you
Yeah.
that quick? Damn.
31.6. A couple of minutes before you join it. I can't believe it.
So Mir would have to do a double stint and then probably just a few laps is what you're saying.
Yeah. Amir did an amazing job in his last stint because he saved fuel for 12 laps. And that lap maybe is going to be the key. Yeah. It's going to be a key to avoid a splash and dash, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Made a lot of time to P4 behind as well.
Yeah, but we don't trust it because he's quick. And if we
Okay.
have any issue... He was doing 32s in his second stint.
Oh yeah,
the end.
that's impressive. Yeah.
But I don't think that he's going to finish the race because he's on his third stint right now. Let's see if they change driver. Because if I remember correctly, he's the quicker on his team. He did the quali.
One stint more.
Yeah, one more. And then we swap, right?
Yes, we can
Okay.
swap.
They have 7 drivers. I assume that's been over the season rather than they've 7 drivers for this one event.
Yeah, this is strange. I notice it too.
We need at least 2, maybe even 3 to be safe. 12 lap stint to the finish. Little bit. Maybe for the final stints. Yes, I was just looking at the strategy. We need to do 12 lap stints,
I
or
can
maybe
do
even
one.
3. If you can stretch this one to 12, it would be good already.
So we need one call out.
3 is enough, so it's not we can survive without this being 11 laps, but if you feel like doing fuel saving, it's okay.
What number? What the foot on option do you need? 12? What the laps?
7 flat.
Didn't get it.
7 later, 7.0.
Ah, okay. You can try speaking normal, because I put it 200% in Discord. Working or not.
Okay, how do you hear me?
No.
Okay, then
180 was
29.16.
Shiba is pitting now. P2.
So they definitely 3 stops left,
Yeah.
including this one.
That was a 3:36.29.
The QT is now driving for Shiba in the P2. He was the quali guy. Wow.
What happened?
I'm pushing.
Yeah, I'm looking at your Twitch right now and I saw, wow. That's some really consistent laps.
Oh, Mirko noticed they had a miss up at Indy because they just dropped 10 seconds.
Wait, P2 or P?
Yeah, P2.
Okay.
They're going again though, but I don't know if they had damage or anything. So
But they just got out of the pits, which is probably the reason why.
no, they after the pits, the gap was about 80 seconds, and now it's just dropped to 71.
Okay. Probably it was a half spin.
Yeah. Also, good driving in there. I heard you did a 12 laps then. Nice
Yeah.
job.
Managed to drag it out and it only lost about 6 seconds. Tried to keep it within there, so I'm happy it didn't leave too much time.
The lap was a 3:37.34.
Did you decide going into the stint to do 12 laps, or when did you decide?
It was, yeah, mid-stint.
Okay, geez, that's impressive.
Yeah. Incredible. Yeah, they lost 9 seconds in the last lap, Shiva.
Yeah. Let's see if they've damage or not. Doesn't. Yeah, let's see.
And we are increasing the gap with Locatelli. He's in the third stint of mediums. We are behind the leader. One lap down. I don't want one lap. It means an extra lap.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Go,
It's
Cozy,
Mendes
go.
versus Mendes. You gotta
Yeah,
show
go.
You have to show you're the superior Mendes.
No, I want him to pull away of me. We need him to win the race. Anyway, I think even we have to pit for one lap, Amir, we shouldn't be in a big trouble. I guess. I hope.
We're really hoping as well.
Locatelli is going to pit.
Okay. Yep, I see that little green icon. Yeah, you can just follow him and get the slipstream. Save some fuel. Or just become the better Mendes.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Let's create a gap. And in the last lap, we have to wait for him and we don't lose anything. We can wait for the leader to cross the line behind him.
Well, you have a free lap. Don't forget like that. Let's say if we cross the line and then the leader crossed the line, P4 can't catch us, so it's like free to go for a P2 and hope P2 crashes on the last lap.
Yeah.
But that's ages away. There's still a lot that can happen in the race, so we won't worry about that.
Go, 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 go. Yes. Locatelli pitting. Let's see if they change drivers.
The lap was a 3:36.17.
No, they are not changing. I guess.
And that's where they come up with.
They'll surely have to do 3 more pit stops instead of 2.
Already full service, so I think that might be a drive as well.
Okay. Full tank, no tires. Ah, yes, Jorbat is driving, Amir.
Oh,
Yeah, they did.
That's good.
Yep. So I kind of thought so because of the long pit stop, so they were the end of the stint on the mediums.
But they have it's 2 hours and 7. They need to do a splash and dash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless they did just like 12 laps, all 3 stints, and even then it would be... I think they'd still need to do a splash and dash even then.
So let's stay safe.
Yep.
But I'm really surprised. Probably the cuties have damage because he was faster than me usually, and we are decreasing the gap. So probably a little bit of damage.
I don't know. I think that was traffic. Well, you're roughly at the same pace as them. If they've damage, it's like maybe something what I did or Simon did, but it's not. It's even less or something. But that gap at the moment seems to be quite steady, and I reckon it's only traffic that's dictating whether we lose our game time.
Yeah, you're right.
E5 had also just pitted.
That was a 3:30.
One more.
7.10.
That was really close.
And we are exiting in front of them with a lot more.
Hey.
Still going to soft tires even at this time of the day.
Oh yeah, Morville. But they changed the driver a while ago, I guess.
Well, what's the track temp?
Track 26.
Oh, it's pretty cool still.
Yeah, you see that it's overcast the sky, but it's not really hot. It's going to be great for a double stint on mediums.
License to push.
more lap.
5.97.
He's faster on the sector 1, especially on the chicanes because of the grip of the tires. But in sector 3 looks like he's not very confident.
I was talking aloud in my chat. They're surely going to do, because they're on fresh mediums right now. They're surely going to do a double.
Probably could be.
I can't imagine them doing a triple and then like a single on softs. That could be the other option, but I would assume they're doing a double.
Consider that Moura behind them is only 34 seconds behind, and Moura is really quick. So probably they will try to.
Oh,
do
sorry.
something.
Are you talking about the team behind? I was talking about Shiba.
Okay. I don't consider any fight with Shiba.
Oh, you never know. Like they'd have to make a mistake, all right, but you never know.
They are going to pit now.
Me and Mirko have our eyes on P2.
Medium, 84, Corolla.
Perfect.
That was a 3:40.00.
Oh, great job. Thanks for finding the time to join us on such a short notice. And doing a great job.
Upstream
Yes.
was rubbish. Totally.
No, it was anything but rubbish.
It was 36 high. Shit.
Well, I think it's in line with what we can.
I hope we didn't have penalty. Collision.
I don't think it's with the angle and speed he was going there. It looked like a crazy move.
I will check it out. But I don't know. I need to see it outside. Good luck and
Thank you.
bring it home. Good.
Yes, let's try.
Sheila into the pits.
Yeah.
They've switched to hards.
Whoa. But they were
Yeah,
so
they're gonna-
crazy fast. On hards.
They're gonna triple stint. They're probably gonna try and do like a 12-lap stint to kind of eke it out, I reckon.
They started the race like us with hards.
Yeah, they were bloody quick with them as well.
We have the fastest lap of the race, and this one is going to be the slowest.
That's the way it is. I always do, when I do my fastest lap, I always do a really slow lap afterwards, so they just average out as normal laps. So you can think of it that way. This is averaged out with your very fast lap. Although it's still gonna be fine enough. Okay,
7 laps.
Shiba are out 40-second gap.
Whoa. Yeah, the tires, okay.
Yeah, the tires were.
Alright, I'll jump in whenever. Right, no?
Yeah, QP's still driving, so he's doing a triple stint now on hard, so he's going to be driving for a lot of hours in a row, I'm guessing then. So maybe fatigue will get to him and he'll make a mistake at some